In the summer of 2000, this building in Huntsville's Five Points neighborhood became the site of something spectacular. Artist David Kerwin and his business partner C.J. DeBacher opened NoOne's gallery. With the words, "Come on in and experience freedom," painted on the window, NoOne's became the home for local artists, musicians, and on certain Friday nights, a magical train wreck that was Huntsville's first poetry slam. This is the story of those poets in this place.
I see the reason behind it. A lot of fat pockets and lonely hearts. We're all fed commercialized standards we'll never live up to, and some of us decide not to live at all. We're told that every word uttered, every thought fresh in mind, and every deeply instilled conviction is wrong. But I say revolt from this kind of conformity. Keep your creative mind, blow up your TV, and embrace peace and enlightenment, because the best part about it is peace of mind is free. Yeah!
It started with Ruth Braswell, and she had stumbled into David's place, into NoOne's gallery, or NoOne's gallery, depending on who you are and how you say it. One day, just saw the place and stopped by, and through the course of talking to him and a few more visits, he was interested in having some things that would attract local people and give them kind of an alternative to troublemaking and drinking and this, that, and the other. And she suggested to do a slam like Birmingham has at Lodestar Bookstore, stuff like that, to kind of get people interested and psyched up about their art.
Honestly, I had Shelley and I had gone, she had taken me to a slam in Birmingham, an actual slam, and we had competed there for one season, and I was hooked. I couldn't help it. I loved it so much, and I couldn't understand why there was nothing in Huntsville. There was nowhere I could go and I could perform my poetry in the same way that I could go and do it there. That same free-form environment where I could say anything I wanted to and your thoughts and opinions were still accepted no matter how you presented it. And I loved it, and I knew Huntsville needed it. We needed that exposure. People needed to know that that was an option for them. And so it just all sprung from there. I met David, and one thing led to another.
She had so much energy and charisma. She didn't need any help at all, so it was her baby. But we just had a place she can do it in. So
we needed a person with a strong motivational skill, in which she had. She had enough for everybody in that room.
Me and Ruth started talking about it after we had driven down to Birmingham, I guess like 2 or 3 times maybe, and we had both made it into like a state competition thing, but we couldn't go because the practices were every week and we couldn't make the practices. So we decided to try and do it here, try and get started.
This is also cool. Anyway. Oh my god, I'm being videotaped. Okay. I think you'll do that. Okay.
Telephone.
You didn't ask before you did that. Huh? No, I didn't. It's okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to. Okay. He looked up at me with a child's face, a small 5-year-old child's face, an adult's perception in his eyes. He said, "I've got a gun and I know how to use it." And for a moment, for a split second in time, I wanted to wrap my arms around him and show him what love could be like, what a mother's love could be like. And for a moment, for a split second in time, I wanted to take his tiny face in my hands, his tiny 5-year-old face in my hands, and let him know that his mind could be his weapon and his words could be the bullets, and that they could shoot out into the hearts of everyone that hurt him, and that they would know that he had risen above the hate, that he had risen above the anger, that he had risen above the oppression of his life. But in that moment, in that split second in time, I did like so many before me and after me had done. I turned my back on him. And now as I look back, as I think back, I wonder if the next time someone turns their back on that small child, that small 5-year-old child, if he will not be a grown man with a long since forgotten gun in his hand that he still knows how to use. And if it will be the last time that he can allow the oppression of someone turning their back on him. And I wonder, will it be you or will it be me? Woo!
The first slam was a little dead at first, but we had such a good time. When the slam started, of course, we didn't have a lot of people that knew about it at the time, so it was very tight-knit, and it was almost like a group discussion at times. The very first slam we had, actually, someone in the audience had the idea of doing a group poem, and that's where that all started from, and we kept it up every slam after that also. And someone would write one line, and then we'd pass it on, and everybody would add to it. And that kind of brought everybody together, too. Even the people that weren't really willing to get up and read their own work, if nothing else, they'd add a line to this poem. So they're still a poet, they're still participating. And I don't know, it all really flourished because of those first few groupings, I think. Those first few meetings, the first few times we got to get together and get so close to each other, because it was such a little intimate crowd. And I don't know, it felt like family. And I think that's what made everybody comfortable enough to keep coming back and bringing more people with them. I don't know, it had a really good feel to it.
It was something else. Everybody was in support of everybody. There was no bad poetry in that place. Everybody was anxious to hear everybody. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody, when they walked through that door, it was like, well, I hope such and such is here tonight, or I need to hear something from such and such because nobody does it like such and such, you know? And it was like, I mean, sometimes when people were reading, the tension, the energy was just like, you know, they couldn't hold it. They couldn't restrain themselves. So you could get like in your second stanza or something, and they're like, whoa, go, you know, they're just like, and you're trying to respect the mic and respect the poet, but sometimes it got so wound up in there that you couldn't help it. You could not hold the energy.
Okay. Put this here. First time I'm going to turn loose from this, okay? And if I forget the words to this, I'm just going to stand here and look stupid, so try not to laugh, okay? All right.
All support. It's all good.
My name is Jennifer, and I wrote a verse called Time Interrupted. It's about a chick who fell in love with this guy, but anyway, he winds up lying to her, leaving her. So in turn, she starts using drugs, and she almost ODs, but she doesn't die though, right? So I haven't had time to write the second verse, so I just didn't experiment with it, okay? But anyway, it goes something like this. Working my nerves, testing my emotions, future plans with me, voided before they started, separated from me, time suppressed, pain wouldn't leave, heart depressed, thought I was worth less, you wanted nothing more, attempts to talk, your patience wore, suggested that I chill, I was taking pills. Judgment got cloudy, I no longer wanted to live, wanted you to come around, you hit the interstate eastbound, away from me, I thought I didn't deserve, locked myself inside, declared fuck the world, I would go full arrest, soon I needed help, my only two companions, cocaine and Gillette, must have been thinking what I'm speaking, don't know why, you returned with Himsy, blood flowed from my nose, felt my feet turn cold, didn't know I was in the world, rushed the main, if I only had a brain, wouldn't be fucked up, so much pain, laid there 40 days and 40 nights, you wondered if I died, why? You didn't care then, thought you were my brother for life. Don't know if I would ever love again. Doc saved my life, said I could go on living, but it's too late now. My time has been interrupted.
One time. Two time it now.